Good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for August 6, 2024. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all directives regarding remote proceedings. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Nanez, would you call our first case, please?
Page 15, Judge, for Mr. Romero. Calling cause number 2024-0D0-0956, State of Texas versus Zolio Romero. Announcements, please.
So let me get Mr. Sorry, Ms. Laneri. May I have Mr. Romero?
Yes, sir. Working on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Morales, are you there?
I'm here, Judge.
Okay, they're getting your client.
Okay.
All right, now may I have announcements, please?
Anyone ready for the state of Texas? Present ready.
And Your Honor, Leonard Morales on behalf of Mr. Romero.
Mr. Morales, is that your client appearing from the jail annex?
It is, Judge.
Okay, we are set for a bond hearing today. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking for a review of the bond. This case has been pending for some time. I know we're looking at, I think my bond now is 25,000, Judge. And I've investigated the case. I think we probably will end up going to trial, although I know Ms. Winery and I have been discussing the matter. Right now, my client has an address he can live at here in El Paso, Judge, 9435 Diana, apartment 6016. He will live there with
Who lives there? Oh, go ahead.
him and his girlfriend, Judge, live there. There are no other people in the home. I know he has a phone number. I'd rather not give it on the YouTube, Judge, but we can give that to the clerk for them to verify the address. All we're asking for, Judge, is for some relief on the bond. I know my client's facing a significant sentence if he's convicted, but he's been compliant in jail. I don't think he's had any disciplinary action or history. Otherwise, he'd have no contact with the complainant, of course, and there's no relationship between the two, so there should be no need for that. But that's what we're asking for, Judge, just a bond reduction if possible.
Ms. Winery?
Your Honor, the state would oppose any bond reduction for the defendant. The defendant has an extensive criminal history, which includes 2 trips to the state's penitentiary, if not 3. Actually 3 trips to the state penitentiary. He's got a history of violent crimes. He's got burglary of habitations. He's got an ag assault. He was arrested for ag assault, dating family violence with a weapon. He would be a threat to the community if released. The state believes that he would be a threat to the community if he were released, and that the bond that is currently in place is adequate. If the court does choose to reduce his bond, the state would ask that it not be a PR bond and that there be some element in a way of tracking him and his movements.
Yeah. All right. I have a 26-page rap sheet on your client, Mr. Morales, all of which includes adult probation, probation revocations, TDC time. The last jailing I see here in 2022, that was a parole violation. Another parole violation. Escape while arrested or confined in 2020, another parole violation. All of these types of things indicate to me he's not real good at following rules, like conditions of bond. So he was arraigned. His arraignment was set in April. He's set for trial in December. So unless you all have something else, I've seen your client raise his hand, Mr. Morales. So I'll throw that to you.
All right, Zolio, I'll let you say something, but don't say anything about the case. Do you understand?
Sir.
What do you want to say?
Mr. Romero, if you're going to speak to me, I'm going to swear you in.
No, that's fine. Excuse me, look. Right now, the thing is, I would like to see if you may be able to grant me at least a split bond and take off the surety so I can try to bond out, get off.
That's what I've asked for. That's what I've asked for, Zolio.
I'm trying to get a hold of my son. Right now, my baby's mother left my son with the other baby sisters, other baby daddy's grandma. You know, so it's like right now my son's in a whole different environment and stuff, and I'm trying to get a hold of him, at least get him situated to where he's at least with my mom or my sister. You know, if I end up doing some time or something, at least somebody in my family can take care of him, not just somebody that's not of his family, you know? And that's all I would like to get, or at least get him a little bit of financial stable and get him situated with somebody, one of my families close to a contact one of mine, you know?
I understand. Mr. Morales, the bond is, reduction request is respectfully denied. Okay. Thank you very
Understood.
much, Mr. Romero. I'll refer you back to your attorney and see if he can help you with some of those things. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morales.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
Who's next?
Judge, we have, page 13. Annex, can we get Mr. Fitzwater,
Yes, let me get him right out.
Mr. Lozano? Oh, Mr. Mesa, you're covering
Yep.
for the Fitzwater too, are you?
Correct.
We're all set, Judge.
Sorry.
Judge,
Mande?
I apologize. I did not send you a case summary on this one. This is an expired UTL. And
Oh,
I'm
you-
sorry, I didn't have a chance to put it together for you.
Didn't we talk about this one not too long ago, Mr. Mesa? You're-
Yeah, Judge, that's
Okay.
correct. I was going to tell you, we were prepping for trial and I haven't had a chance to speak to him in person, but that's a conversation that needs to be had because he is expired. It was about 2 weeks ago that we spoke.
Let me go ahead and call it, calling cause number 2018-0D05641, State of Texas versus Tyler Allen Fitzwater Witt. May I have announcements?
Ada Winery for the state of Texas, present ready, Your Honor.
Eric Meza on behalf of the defendant, Judge, we're ready as well.
For purposes of the record, the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. This is one we had reset from the 23rd of July. I don't have the summary in front of me, but I want to say, I think it was at 18 months. If it wasn't 18, it was 12 months last time.
Your Honor, the state has 12 months on Revo per court, July 23rd, 2024.
Okay.
I wish I could disagree, Judge, but that is actually what you said. So that memory serves you
Hey,
well.
well, like I thought it was 18, so there you go. I was more reasonable than I thought. Mira, we've done a probation status. This is our pre-revo. So I just need to know if you're going to want a contested revo or if he's going to plead true.
Judge, if you don't mind, I mean, if we can set it for a contested revo, just so I can speak to him and get any sort of mitigating evidence and discuss, and then notify the court if anything.
So what we'll do is we'll do 2 weeks out, another pre-revo, and 2 weeks after that, an in-person contested revo. Okay?
Not a problem at all. Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Judge. Thank you.
Okay. That pre-revo, Ms. Berna, we don't need to do it. Well, I guess we might as well do it at the jail docket. That's fine. We'll do them both. I mean, the pre-revo at the jail docket, the contested revo in person. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, 12 months. I won't forget again.
Thank you,
Who's-
Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa.
No, it
Thank
still
you,
has one
Mr.
more, Judge.
Oh, okay. Who would?
Ms. Flores, right below that one.
Oh, there it is.
Annex, if we could get Ms. Flores.
Yes.
All right, calling cause number 2015-0D05485, State of Texas versus Cecilia Flores. May I have announcements, please?
Ada Winery for the state of Texas, present ready, Your Honor.
Eric Meza for the defense, Judge, ready to proceed as well.
Okay, and Miss Flores is appearing from the jail annex. She is appearing remotely. Stop reporting.
Miss Flores, he's in a row. Miss Flores.
CSO is working on getting time credit for Safe P. I'm not sure if is that you, Miss Flores? I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at my screen. What
Okay.
update do you have for me?
I'm sorry.
Update.
Since the last hearing, we were able to get the total days credit for being at Safe P and TTC. So total days would be 305 days.
Were we at a number already with Miss Flores?
Yes, Your Honor. On June 25th, 2024, you stated 3 TDCJ on Revo.
Okay, Mr. Mesa?
That's correct, Judge. Mr. Lozano was handling that hearing, but that's what I have as well.
So is she taking it?
I think part of we wanted to know was the safety and how much credit she was going to have. And so, I mean, 305 days is a substantial amount. I just like an opportunity to talk to her about it.
Okay, well, I'll do a pre-revo in 2 weeks.
That's perfect.
If she's scared, if she's squared away and you can get me paperwork, you can anticipate that being the plea of true, okay?
Even better, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Flores. Thank you, Ms. Flores, as well.
Thank you, Judge. May I be
Mr.
excused?
Mesa? Yeah, take it.
Thank you,
Who's
Judge.
next?
Page 14, Judge, annex, if we can get it, Herrera.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hi, Mr. Abrar. All right, calling cause number 2023-0D00109, State of Texas versus Kayla Guadalupe Herrera. May I have announcements, please?
81 ready for the state of Texas. Present ready, Your Honor.
Adi Cobra for Miss Herrera, ready, Judge.
Okay, and Ms. Herrera is appearing remotely as well. The probation recommendation is still that she attend TAP. Ms. Wineri,
Judge,
did I have a
we
red?
are,
Not in my notes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Abrar.
Judge, we're actually
She had all
asking
the answers
for,
earlier.
Judge, we're actually potentially asking for if the court would offer her some kind of inpatient treatment. Last time when we were here in court, we did not have a lot of update because we met with Miss Herrera, but I don't think she was in a mental state to provide a lot of information to us. But since then, I believe she has seen EHN and now getting help with her mental health issues. She was prescribed Prozac and Trazodone to help with her mental health issues. In addition to that, my client stated that she has been abusing methamphetamine on and off for past 5 years, Judge. And just to give a little more information about Miss Herrera, when we pled her to this case for 2 years deferred probation, at that time, she had a good job. She was making $13 or $14 an hour, working regularly, had good communication with her grandparents. But after this probation took place, after the plea took place, obviously we lost track. We didn't communicate with her. And she lost her home. Her grandparents kicked her out. Potentially, I'm not sure whether it had anything to do with the drug abuse issues. But lost her home, and then after that, she did not do anything in probation for the period of time that she was in probation for. And I don't think the probation department had any opportunity to do any kind of assessment or any evaluation, Judge. I have spoken to her, and she's open to, if the court is willing to offer her some kind of rehab, I believe that's something would help her a lot, Judge. She's still young. I don't believe she has much criminal history. All the prior charges were dismissed, and this is what. Yeah, that's all I have, Judge.
Are we talking about BHRTC?
I believe that would probably be the immediate, yes, Judge.
All right. I did review the case summary on this one. I'm good with BHRTC. She does have some criminal history. There's no new cases or anything else, right?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Ms. Carla, do we need to still get her screened or?
Your Honor, if the court is ordering and just like Mr. Abroad did mention, he has spoken to Ms. Herrera and there is views. We can have her modified. I just don't have the paperwork ready because I didn't know we were gonna go that route. But unfortunately, we weren't able to have her assessed for anything because she didn't report.
Right.
But if the court's ordering it and there is views, we can go ahead and modify her. I just do need to prepare paperwork that I don't have ready right now.
Okay. So Ms. Herrera, do you understand? It sounds like your attorney has talked to you about some inpatient treatment, and I am more than happy to offer that as part of your probation if it is going to be something that's going to make you successful on probation. So this type of treatment requires that you be in custody. Okay, so you're in custody right now. There's gonna be a wait. Probation is gonna have to go over some paperwork for you, to get everything squared away for you to go. But if you're in agreement with that, I'm good, Mr. Abrar. We send her to BHRTC. She keeps her deferred, hopefully takes care of what she needs to when she comes out. No more new cases, some stability, all of those good things.
Thank you, Judge. I know my client definitely appreciates that. Thank you, Judge.
Wonderful. Okay, so Carla, do you need me to bring her over, or what do you need to happen in terms of her paperwork?
Your Honor, you know what? I can send the jail. She's at the annex, so that'll work better. I'll send her something that I need her signed already.
Mhm.
And then I'll just have her officer submit the modifications as soon as possible.
Okay,
It goes to the court.
okay. And there is a wait, Ms. Herrera, so don't get impatient. We'll get things squared away quickly. Okay, Mr. I was gonna call you Mr. Vergara, Mr. Abrar, if you don't see movement, you let us know, okay?
No problem, Judge. Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks.
that.
Have a good day.
Take care. Bye.
All right, was there a motion filed on her? I would imagine, yes.
You just
The
have
only
to
thing
file,
was just
Judge.
waiver.
I don't believe so, Judge.
I don't
Okay.
believe so, Judge.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Judge. Thank you.
Who's next?
Judge, page 14, top of the page, Michael Gutierrez, annex. Can we get Michael Gutierrez? Mr.
Yes, get him right
Huffman?
up. Yes.
Who is that?
Good afternoon.
All right, calling cause number 2022-0D02013, State of Texas versus Michael Gutierrez. May I have announcements, please?
Anyone ready for the state of Texas? Present ready, Your Honor.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Gutierrez, we're ready.
For purposes of the record, Mr. Gutierrez is appearing remotely in the jail annex. We are scheduled for a bond hearing. Looks like he picked up a criminal trespass. Is that what it is?
And in evading.
And an evading. Okay, Mr. Huffman, no bond, so you may proceed.
That's correct, Judge. He's also in custody on a no bond, along with the evading. I think I'm not sure what the bond is on the evading, Judge. We're certainly hoping we can get both of those cases at a bond that he can afford. Judge, my client is on probation. I think the probation officer may have some more information, but it's my understanding he's doing, aside from the new charges, Judge, he's doing relatively well on probation. Judge, he's 20 years old. He's a United States citizen. He resides here in El Paso. He's lived here his whole life. Judge, I think he has a healthy work history. He's been at track 1 for the past 2 years. Does not have a lot of criminal history. He is on probation, Judge. It was originally pled as a pretty serious charge. That charge got reduced to a state jail felony, and he was given 2 years deferred on the state jail felony. We got a little more information about the new case, Judge. Not a whole lot. The state has not. I don't know if the state has a video of the evading, but it is clear that. Well, Judge, it's not clear that the officer is from a housing authority police department. I'm not sure if those cars are marked. I'm not sure if he was in a had a uniform, Judge. It's still unclear why he was trying to detain my client in the first place, and it's unclear whether or not my client knew about this officer was attempting to detain him. I think it'll come out in trial, Judge, that the officer in fact had a personal vendetta against my client. I think that's the bigger issue, but I think he was going after my client just because of some personal background, but I don't believe that there was an actual legal reason for the detention. Anywho, Judge, I am requesting a bond that he can afford. He is on deferred. So we're asking the court to issue a reasonable bond and allow my client to get back on probation.
I feel like we discussed this case not too long ago. Your client has been testing positive for cocaine and THC before we get to the new offenses. So there's that. He didn't attend treatment sessions since April. New appointment, continued non-compliance with TAP may result in recommendation for residential treatment. And then we get to the new offenses. Per the case summary from the probation, and Mr. Cunhas is here just for the record. It was EPPD officers working uniform security. I don't know, I think they do that in their own uniform, but whatever. Juveniles fled from the police. I mean, those are new cases, but he was testing positive for cocaine, Mr. Huffman, for months. Yeah. So even though he got a great deal on a state jail deferred, he said, well, that's okay because I like to party and I'm going to keep partying anyway. Right?
Judge, I forgot to put that in my notes about the cocaine.
Okay. Well, luckily, Mr. Cunhas didn't, and it's still there for the court to review. The re-arrest bonded out before bench warrant was called in. Then the criminal trespass because he's going back to the same place. You know, what is it? What is it that keeps him going there?
I don't know, Judge.
Yeah, well, I might have some ideas. So, and in terms of the bond, let me just see his PSR. It's not huge. How old is your client?
20. He
2004, he's 20. So in 2020, when I look at the adult history, he's got the engaging. That's mine, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's all he has. But it's not making a very good case for himself. The evading, you asked about the bond on the evading. Criminal trespass, let me go back. He bonded out on the evading, did he not? Or he got a PR bond? Is he booked on it?
I did not think so, Judge, but I meant to check.
He posted a $10,000 surety bond on June 7th, and let me see. And he's not booked on it right now.
Okay.
He's got some resources towards the bond. Who posted the bond? Never mind.
I don't know that either, Judge.
Okay. All right. So Miss Winery, what do you have?
State opposes. I mean, the officers were in marked units. Peace officers have the ability to make contact, detain, arrest throughout the state of Texas, regardless of what defense thinks that they should be wearing or not. Also, Your Honor, he is on probation, and part of probation is not being around people who are doing illicit activities. He's a known gang member, which is one of the reasons why he keeps going back to that housing complex, because that housing complex is affiliated with a gang in which he's a part of. He wasn't even on probation for a year, and he already started picking up new cases. So the state does not believe that at this time it would be in the interest of the community, especially the Sherman housing complex, for the defendant to have his bond reduced. We would ask that it remain the same and that there be no split sureties or PR components associated with it.
Anything else, Mr. Huffman?
My argument, Judge, was the officer did not have probable cause to detain my client, nor reasonable suspicion. Not that he wasn't properly dressed, but other than that, I have nothing further.
Okay. He's on deferred, so he's entitled to a bond. It'll be a $50,000 cash surety bond. Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Cunez, unless you have something else. Yeah, you might have something else.
No, Your Honor, no updates as of this time.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Mr. Cunez, how are we doing? Do you remember our other probationer from like a week ago moved out from the girlfriend?
Yes, Your Honor, I haven't received any complaints
Okay.
or anything from the girlfriend. And actually, I was going to tell you, I did have an update with Mr. Gutierrez. Now that I think of it, I
Uh-huh.
went to go visit him in jail. I believe it was last week.
Uh-huh.
He did say that he is planning upon release, possibly moving to Socorro with his girlfriend. So that might get him out of that area,
Mm.
which might be good because I know he lives pretty close to that Sherman housing complex on Valverde.
Okay.
Um, and
Is
he
there a
seems
wreck
like
on Mr. Gutierrez's case? Sorry, Mr. Cunez.
the wreck on his case, Your Honor. Let's see. So what we're thinking of, Your Honor, is a urinalysis drug test twice monthly with 24-hour notice. This way, that can keep his sobriety in check in regard to the cocaine use. And then a requirement to submit his work and school schedules as soon as they're issued. And we're also thinking about possibly defensive driving, considering that there was the evading arrest and detention with the vehicle.
Have you looked at, Miss Winery, have you looked at the new cases or the new case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you all made an offer there?
No, we have not made an offer. We were the thought was to see where the probation case would go and then make an offer in accordance with that. The state's gonna ask for revocation, so it would be a time offer for sure.
Okay. So, Mr. Huffman, court's not averse to a probation rec with some, a serious treatment angle, right? So I'll leave it at that.
Understood her.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cunez, thank you very much.
Your Honor, thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Who's next?
Bottom of the page, Judge, Eileen Reese for Mr. Huffman. Annex, could we get Reese?
Your Honor, Reese is downtown currently at an OBGYN appointment. She left in the morning. I called downtown and notified them.
Okay, let's see if that downtown has her. Downtown, are you there?
Well, it doesn't,
We got yeah, she's on the 11th floor. I'm on the 6th floor right now.
and
Okay,
that's Mr. Ugarte, right?
that should be
Yes.
Mr. Ramos, Judge. Brian Ramos, page 15.
Okay. All right, Mr. Huffman, that's yours.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos or Miss Ruiz?
Mr. Ramos, who is this at the downtown jail?
This is Mr. Ramos.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was Mr. Ugarte. Okay, then we
No,
can
Judge,
get started there.
Ugarte is downtown, Your Honor.
Got it.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Calling cause numbers 2024-0D03188, 2024-0D03189, and 2024-0D03190, State of Texas versus Brian Julius Ramos. May I have announcements, please?
Ada Winery for the state of Texas, present ready, Your Honor.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Ramos, we're ready.
Mr. Huffman, is that your client appearing from the downtown jail?
I'm not sure, Judge. Is that you, Mr. Ramos? I'm
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
It is, Judge.
All right, we're set for bond hearings on each of these cases. You may proceed.
Your Honor, my client's a United States citizen. He was born and raised in El Paso in the Chaparral area. Never lived anywhere else, Judge. He currently is staying with his grandmother, and that's in El Paso, Texas. He was working, Judge, basically collecting scrap metal and selling that. Judge, he is currently on antidepressants in the jail. He wasn't getting treated outside the jail, Judge, and I think that might have led to some self-medicating. He feels good on medication. He doesn't feel the need to self-medicate. Judge, this one also, I think it would benefit if the court watched the video of this case. Judge, this was an unmarked police unit who basically boxed my client's car in at a gas station, and my client backed up and maybe tapped the car. Again, it was an unmarked car and drove off. No indication that it was an officer. Anywho, Judge, we are requesting a bond so that we can appropriately fight this case. Judge, he's had a decent work history. He used to work at a car wash for 3 years. And Judge, my office, my social worker has been working with him. He has been screened for housing resources as well as treatment for his mental health. I just want to see if there's an update on that.
Has he ever, look, I'm looking at a PSR that's fairly lengthy and substantively, it's nothing but revocations on probation. He's pled and he's been revoked time and time again. He's got several state jails. I mean, everything is revo to time. Can you tell me if he's ever received any kind of treatment, whether it's mental health, drug use?
I have that in my notes, Judge. It says he has not ever received rehab or anything like that. I could be wrong. Probation might have something different, Judge, but my understanding, he has not. And we have multiple diagnoses, Judge, from schizophrenia to bipolar depression. And he's currently prescribed Prozac, Abilify, with major depressive disorder, with psychotic features. He's got no psychiatric hospitalizations or commitments. But he has 1 3-day stay at EHN, but I think that's all he's ever been, basically in a treatment facility.
Will he qualify for the Inspire Court? Can you get him screened, Mr.
I
Huffman?
can. I owe them a trip on Miss Martell and certainly for Miss Ruiz coming up. I'm gonna ask the court for Miss Ruiz.
Okay, look, his bonds right now, total $232,000. Let me see the breakdown there. Odyssey is really slow all of a sudden. Okay, so I have unauthorized use at 30,000, ag assault 75,000, the state jail possession is at 2,500. Miss Swaneri on the bond.
Your Honor, this defendant easily could have killed the officer that attempted to detain him. He reversed into the officer's vehicle, not once, but twice. Another officer came from around the corner to try to get the defendant to stop. He failed to do so. For the defense to say that there was no indication that it was an officer is not true. Upon reviewing the video, you can clearly see the emergency lights that are shining and the officer deploying his horn. The officer steps out of the vehicle and the defendant rear ends the vehicle again. He clearly is incapable of obeying any sort of, rules or regulations that are imposed upon him just based on his criminal history and based on the fact that he has been on probation before and has been unsuccessful. The state would ask that the bond remain the same and that if the court chooses to reduce it or modify it in any way, that it not be a PR bond.
Mr. Huffman, anything else?
Your Honor, and rather than keep him in custody, which I don't know if the court can order it, but my client would love the opportunity to go to an inpatient treatment facility like Casa Vida or something along those lines. But that's all I have, Judge. I will definitely get with the court on the Inspira.
Okay. So with respect to the bond, that request as to each of the cases is respectfully denied. I do see that he's got plenty of state jail, at least state jail trips. There might be other ones. But if you want us to have options, Mr. Huffman, get us some.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go on to the next one, please.
Downtown,
I gotta go to the next floor for
Or- Yeah. Who do
Right.
we have at the annex?
Your Honor, we have Maldonado Melissa and Ugarte Steve.
Okay, so on Melissa Maldonado, her attorney appeared already. And we're gonna move on to the next setting.
Okay, Your Honor.
He had another hearing in a different court. But
Yes.
if that's a case, then yeah, we can go on to Mr. Ugarte. We can get off of YouTube. Mr. Hughes, who are you here on?
Judge, I'm here on Luis Hernandez. I apologize. I had to get off and go to an in-person court hearing in the 243rd.